Well, I made Gabriel stop because it was getting a little bit long, and I worried about the upload. He wanted to film back where uh, we could include Mango the cat. But anyway, I'm gonna get him going again, and he was on a roll, so I sort of hated to stop him, but he wants to say a little bit more about that before he left. So, cut.
And then I decided to leave my dad's land because we were having a falling out and we couldn't really get things to work. You know, I mean, it's hard to have a work day with him without getting a big argument. So I thought that was pretty, you know. And then pretty much, I mean, I feel like I was getting, you know, and if you're a good worker, there's a lot of things that are necessary, like be there on time, you know, help out, you know, do the work itself. But the one thing that's really important is just to have a good attitude while you're working. You know, you gotta have a you don't gotta be having a fake smile, but you still gotta you know be you don't gotta make it harder for everybody else just because you're upset about it. You know, that's what my dad is like. You know, he would get hungry or he would get upset, and he would take it out on me. And it's like, buddy, you know, I mean, I think he doesn't realize that, you know, I'm doing this for free. I'm doing this for free. So if he wanted to hire a worker and yell at him, then you do that. But if you're gonna work with me and I'm gonna do you as volunteer and as a favor, then you know you might just, you know, it doesn't cost you a lot to just, you know, I mean, in better words, shut up. No, I mean.
All right. You said something about nature too.
Oh yeah, yeah. So a lot of people. So there's a difference between a bum and a homeless man. A homeless man is just a guy who doesn't have a home, doesn't have running water, doesn't have a bathroom, doesn't have a bedroom. A bum is what you see in Florida, where it's just guys begging for money, you know, all that stuff. And you'll never catch me begging for anything. I'll accept some help, you know, or I'll maybe even ask something, you know. I try to meet people 50-50, but never begging in the intersection or nothing
Well,
like that.
maybe if things got bad enough, you'd have to.
I rather do what I used to do in Florida, and I'd rather just like stand in front of Home Depot and just wait for somebody to pick me up for work, you know, even if it's just very little work
Yeah.
or money, you know, as long as, you know, survival.
Okay.
But you know, on survival, I really hate the fact that as humans, we have complicated the world to such a great extent. You know, like we need money so we can buy food, even though we can just get the food directly. You know, if you know how to fish, I hate fishing, but if I have to fish, I'll fish. I got a fishing rod actually. You know, you know, if you got fish, you got fish. If you got hunt, you got hunt. You know, if you gotta eat dandelions, because apparently they're edible, I'm gonna get into that. I want to know how they taste like. You know. But you can eat mushrooms. If you know what mushrooms to get, you could probably eat them, you know. You can forage for food anywhere, you know. The point is that people have complicated things, despite the fact that we're descendants of people who have worked their butts off just to survive. And people have forgotten a lot of things in life, you know, that, you know, people have put people have simplified it too much up to the point that it's almost complicated to get those things. The point is, it's a big mess, and that's the reason why I love camping. I love camping, you know. Very simple, very simple. I mean, make a fire, you know, cook some food, you know. You know, I mean, and I one day hope to be the type of guy that can take a generator, hook it up to a bike, and just pedal, and just get electricity that way, you know. People focus too much on being richer when they should be more resourceful, because I got all this money, but what are you gonna do with the money? You're gonna buy resources, so why not just make the resources yourself? You know, get a chicken, you know, get a chicken, build a farm. You don't need a big farm, you just need a little farm, you know what I mean?
And your dad sort of shared that dream, but you guys
Yes,
just
we want a big homestead life. No, he knows he wanted to have that Because it's funny, because me and my dad, we never really liked each other our whole life. But after the divorce, no, he became like a whole different person. When men get divorced, they can be a version of themselves that they're not allowed to be because they got a wife and stuff like that. And my dad became a version of himself that I could get along with, you know. And it just happens that we actually became friends outside of me being father and son. And it is a great shame. It's a great, it's a big bummer that we just couldn't seem to just get things going, you know. I tried to get things to, I tried to diffuse arguments, de-escalate situations, but some people just can't be worked with. But the thing is, I really like camping. I really like, camping. I really like nature. I really like nature. You know, in Florida, there's not a lot of nature that you can enjoy. And the little nature that there is, there's a lot of homeless, not crackheads. They do some other stuff, but they're drug addicts. There's a lot of people who, in Florida, the people who you see in tents are the homeless people who just want to do drugs in the woods and not be seen by the cops. And that's nowhere to live life. I mean, you can't. There's good luck finding a camping spot in Florida, or finding a river that's not polluted. You know, good luck. I mean, find me one, and because I couldn't find one in 5 years of being there. But yeah, you can't really do much in Florida. And nature, you can't, like, I really like the fact that when I moved back to Pennsylvania, like, I remember I used to stay, like, sometimes my mom, like, I would just stay the weekends at a what do you call it, a county park. Shh, don't tell a county park in Lancaster I said that, but I used to live in that county park for a long time, you know. Not a long time, but like I used to stay there for as much as possible, because at one point that happened is like for a month, me and my dad like I quit my job because we thought that it took so long for us to get the land because we put the down payment. But the weird thing is that for some reason the people who were selling the house, or the land, for some reason it took a long time for the paperwork to get settled in, because some of the guys went on vacation or something, and it's like, hey, we're kind of waiting on the building and stuff, on the land, so it's like you can't really. But they took a long time for us to get the land. So all that time, since I already quit my job a month ago, you know, at a time, you know, like I could have gotten an apartment because I had the money, but then I'd be spending the budget that I would have put on the land.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, and why would I pay? People, like, unless you have a land and a big house, an apartment doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I'll give you an example. My brother right now pays like almost $1,000 a month for one room, just so he can keep his stuff, and just so he can keep his stuff and get heaters and use the bathroom and whatnot. But he could just gotten an I told him you should just get an RV. You should if people view RVs and mobile homes as like weird, but it's like, hey, that's the best thing you could do. One reason, you own it 100%. I mean, you don't gotta worry about things, no. But the point is, I mean, I'm more the type of guy to be like that. And, I didn't want to get another, I didn't want to move into an apartment for like a month. So I just stayed in the county park for a whole month, just camping, it's pretty simplistic. I really like it, just me, a sleeping bag. I got a little hammock, just things, just small things. I remember there was this raccoon that used to come and visit me. And she would steal my food, sometimes, and it was fun. It was fun, I mean, I don't mind. To me, homelessness is not the problem. Unemployment, that's a big scary problem. Not having, because like I'm sure that I could survive without income. Just living off nature, but. I mean, we all like eating a pack of Oreos and drinking some Cokes or some juice or some popcorn every once in a while. So you might just go to the store and get some. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I mean, it's good to have a job. You don't want to feel like you're in the same spot. Productivity is very important. So Mm-hmm.
Anyway, you finally just
And you gotta you gotta afford beer somehow, you know.
one day you just left, and you can tell us about that next time. Okay, thanks.